Hey guys, today we're going to be doing the 300 TDI Diff Lock mod to a TD5. These are the parts that you'll need from a 300 TDI gearbox. If you've got a manual, you'll obviously need this one. It's a little bit different for an auto. Basically, if I get round to it, if I find someone with an auto that's having it done, I'll do another video for an auto, but pretty much the same procedure. You need the top hat with the both gear linkages. You need the lock selector off of the transfer box, which bolts here, and you need the high and low selector, which goes onto these splines here. And then that's pretty much all the parts that you need from a 300 TDI bolt box. Obviously remember to keep the longer bolts, because they are different lengths to the one that is in the TD5. Right, we're inside the Land Rover now. What you have to do first of all is obviously remove the centre console. To remove the gear stick, you do need a 13mm. You pop the gaiter, and then you undo this bolt here. Right, the bolt has to come all the way out, so it fits into a little like slot in the actual stick. So you remove the bolt, it will then pull up, then you put the bolt back in. Save this bit, you need to put it back on again after. Right, to remove the high and low selector, you pull the gaiter straight up and over, and then you unscrew it anti-clockwise. And it is quite fine thread, so it takes quite a bit to come off. Right, then obviously save that. If you haven't got the high and low with the diff lock off the 300, it doesn't matter, this will go back on. You just have to remember, obviously slide it over for diff lock. As you can see, this does not have diff lock, because it will only move forwards and backwards. As at the minute the handbrake's on and we are on a hill, so it's not engaging and disengaging. But yeah, I can't move it over whatsoever. Then remove your mat, you will need that for later. To remove the centre console, the plastic bit pops off. Then you need a screwdriver. All you really need for this is a basic small socket set. You can pick these ones up for around £50 in the UK. Doesn't need to be anything special. This one is a Nielsen brand, doesn't really matter, you can go Halfords, you can go Snap-on, Blue Point, anything really. You can even go Poundland and get all the tools that you need for this. Right, you undo here, obviously save all of your screws because they are important. Obviously it is going to be a bit cramped with us two in here because there is two rather large guys in the Land Rover while we're doing this video. But like I promised, is obviously all the connections. I have switched my rear and front windows around, so my front windows are at the top and the rear are at the bottom. I prefer it that way, but if you look, the switches are exactly the same behind. Doesn't really matter whichever way you want to do it. I prefer it so they're my fronts and they're my rears. Obviously from factory, they're your fronts, they're your rears. It's up to you really. Just so you know on your wiring, your purple plugs are your rear, your white plugs are your front, and that's to your window lock cutout. If you have got heated seats, you'll need to plug those in, but this model hasn't. Right guys, now you've removed that, there is 2 screws here, and 2 screws here. Mine is missing, but watch out, these are a sucker for falling out. So a little trick you can do is, in the rear you should have a swivel point ashtray which will pull out just like so, and from there you can put your hand in to the cartridge and the whole cartridge will come out, and your hand can actually reach in under the underneath of there, and then you can actually keep your finger on the nuts underneath. They are meant to be capped nuts, but they are not, they always break and fall out. So you can actually unscrew these and hold them in place with your hand underneath. It is rather tricky, especially when you're a fat bloke, but yeah. Just went out and grabbed a few more tools just to help with it. It is a bit tricky, but it saves you dropping the pins into the never-ending forever of Land Rover. Because trust me, when you drop a bolt in these, they never turn up again. That's the ones, they always fall out of the hole where they're meant to be kept. So I just take them out, and then all the screws you undo, I put them in this centre cubby, just for safekeeping. Right, like I said guys, you undo 2 pins. Almost every time that will fall off, so just remove the cassette and then you can do it. Obviously undo the front one. The front one's not too bad. If it does drop, it's easy to find because it's not really got that far to go. But them ones at the back, they fall into the never ending. It's like a black hole. Then just drop it in there. Right, now obviously remove the handbrake gaiter. Right, now that's gone. What you need to do is at the side here, well, there isn't one on this one. There's usually a clip on the side of these. This one seems to be missing. It's not a problem really. All you do is you let off the handbrake, just like that, and you push that pin out. Let me just have a look over the side of there. That actually helps using the screen. So that'll just pop out there. Then all you do is just get a pair of pliers. In this case I'm just going to use a pair of side cutters just because of what I've got to hand. And you just pull it out. Because once it's out, you can then bring the handbrake right up. This is key, because you will not get this off without it. You then lift this, obviously send the gaiter down through the middle. As you lift, you have got your wiring for your cigarette lighter under here. Just reach under and disconnect. Then that is home free. I just sit it in the back out of the way because there it's safe. Right, you've now got this. This is your centre console. Pull out the foam bit. Obviously collect your nut. As mentioned before, they always drop. Just put that one to one side. Now what you will have to do is you can pull that just out to the side like that. I prefer to actually remove it just because it gives you that little extra bit of wiggle room. All you do is undo that screw there and it pops straight out just like so. It is a little bit fiddly, but it does come straight out. Then obviously just return the screw in. Like I say, this video is going to be long-winded because, like I've said for a few guys, it is in detail. So if you know about drilling out rivets, then skip ahead. Right guys, as all I'm doing at the minute is I'm just taking the heads off the rivet because I actually forgot to bring the right size drill bit. If it helps, it is a 5mm drill bit that you need. Now that they are free, put your drill to a side. You don't need that till later on, if at all. Obviously if you've got a 5mm drill bit, you can drill the rivet straight out. Now you need an 8mm spanner or socket. It's up to you really which you prefer to use. and you need to undo the 4 bolts which hold the high and low selector on. If you own a Land Rover, you should already have all of the tools needed to do this, to be honest, because when you own a disco you should always have a basic toolkit. If you don't, go out and buy one. Literally, even if you get one of the small Halford sets which has got the pieces in, like it's a screwdriver set, a spanner set and a socket set, that's actually really good. You can pick up sets like this one off the internet pretty cheap. And to be honest, I would always recommend going for a slightly branded name of tools. You know, one that has got a reputation of being good quality. i.e. Snap-on, Halfords, Nielsen, Silverline, not too bad. Yeah, any decent tools. You could do it with a socket set from Poundland, but you get what you pay for. Ouch, that hurt.
That really finally pops.
Yeah. Obviously, I would always recommend using the proper tools, not just thump it, but, you know, sometimes you have to. Right, now, this does come out of here. It is a bit fiddly, but it will come out, because that's what it's designed to do. Right, you get one side out, then this side lifts up, the rubber grommet comes over the stick with it, and then that's home and free. Then obviously what you do is from there, get a pair of side cutters, pull all your rivets out, straighten out any bent bits, and job done. Now, for the interesting bit. This rubber cap has to come off. That reveals your gear stick. In this case, this one is deteriorated away. It looks like I need a new one of those. I'll pick one of those up. There's obviously your gear stick. This one is quite worn. Here is your high and low selector. What you might as well do from here, is just while you got this out, is just get your pliers. I'm using side cutters, just so it just shows that it doesn't really matter what you use. Obviously don't cut through it, but disconnect that. I usually put that back through there just to keep it safe, and then through here you pull out this horseshoe type clip just like that, and then the high-low select cable fits through there. No, it doesn't. Correction, take that out. Come on, beast. Remember your fucking job. There you go. Right, and then obviously, just to keep everything together, you do that. Now guys, as if you can see in there, if you bring the camera around, what I'll do is I'll get a pointy device. Right, down here, right, I'm doing it from the screen. That there, this here, is your high-low selector. You're going to be removing the whole of this, all of it, it's coming out. That little grommet down there is your Diff Lock. What you need to do is, before you strip out your centre console, you need to get underneath. There's your front drive shaft there, and feel up here for the nipple sticking up. If you can't feel it, you haven't got it. It stands out like a sore thumb when you're feeling around, and if you've got that, you can do this mod. If you haven't got a Diff Lock transfer box,